Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about a Dinomist Zoo deck profile. I usually don't do deck profiles of decks I take to locals, but I actually had a really fun time using this deck, and it's actually really good. I've been noticing on my channel that deck profiles have been getting a lot of views and a lot of likes, so I think that's where this channel is probably going to end up going, is deck profiles. But anyway, this was a deck that I had an idea for because Dinomist is the only archetype in the game that can easily make totally awesome next to Cyber Dragon Infinity. And there was actually a match where I did have that field of those two next to each other. My thing with Dinomist that I don't like is it's the speed. It's just really not fast enough to compete with today's meta. But adding Zoo made it actually pretty fast. So there's a side deck as well. It's just because I took it to locals today. But side deck, that's always up to personal preference. But anyway, here's my Dinomist deck. If you like it, you got some extra cash, or you have zoos laying around, I would definitely try this out because it's a really fun deck. It's got the speed and the feel of a meta deck, but it's also got like the fun of Dinomist as well. 3 copies of Dinomist Picturon. He's actually the only 3 of for Dinomist monsters. He actually might be, he's one of the only 3 ofs for monsters in the deck, to be honest. Yeah, he's one of the only 2 3-ofs in the deck. 2 copies of Placeos. I thought it was actually running a play set. I don't know if I'd recommend a play set. I was really trying to cut down as many Dinomists as possible. This one's really not needed at 3. But then we're running 2 copies of Branchion and 2 copies of Ceratops. This is actually a really good ratio. You can you can special summon Branchion, special summon Ceratops. I actually did that today as well to make Cyber Dragon Infinity. I didn't really want to run 3 ofs because that ends up clogging in this version of this build. It's a 41 card deck as it is. And these 2 are the only 2 that can special summon themselves. These are the only 2 level 5s that can special summon themselves, so I'm running them. 2 copies of Archfiend Eccentric, because she's a high scale, and she's essentially the MST of the deck. Kind of wish I saw more of her, to be honest. 3 copies of Speedroid Teratop. 1 copy of Speedroid Takes on board. This is purely for MX Saber Invoker. There's no other targets. 2 copies of Zodiac Rapier. 1 copy of Zodiac Whiptail. 1 copy of Lunalight Black Sheep for the combo. And then I am running Draco Face-Off, so I'm running 1 Luster, 1 Master for those targets, and 2 Vectors. The last monster of the deck, Max C. With the Ancient Gear Structure deck, there should be no reason why this card's not in every deck. 3 copies of Dinomist Charge, another 3 of in the deck. There's actually not a whole lot of 3 ofs, to be honest. Yeah, there's 4 3 ofs in the deck, including Dinomist Charge, but this is super busted. There's so many crazy plays you can do with like adding with his second effect, like lustering, searching, returning the card, putting it back in scale. When it's activated, it can add a Dinomist card. Dinomist Charge is like a definite 3 of in any Dinomist deck. 1 Upstart Goblin for consistency. As mentioned before, 1 Draco Face-Off. One of the best cards in the deck, to be honest. Like, this card is still OP. Like, I know people are like, oh no, Dracos are dead, but like, this card is still OP as crap. Like, it's still super good. 3 copies of Instant Fusion. There's 2 targets in the deck. I'll show those in a second. 1 copy of Fusion Substitute for the Lunalight plays. And then 1 copy of Book of Moon and 2 copies of My Body as a Shield. And then I'm running 5 traps, 1 Warning, 1 Compulse, and 3 copies of Lost Wind. 2 Artifact Lancia, 2 Imperial Iron Wall, MVPs against zombies, Zombie Mill, whatever. 2 copies of Trap Eater. I saw it, didn't see the anti-spell. 3 copies of Royal Decree, never saw it. 2 Enemy Controller, never sighted it. 2 Flying Sea for the Mirror-ish. And then 2 System Down, never saw anything for that. And then for the extra deck, as you would anticipate, 1 of each Zoo, no real room for any more. 1 MX Saber Invoker, 1 Utopia, 1 the Lightning. This guy lost me a freaking duel. I'll get to that in a second. 1 Daigastal Emerald. These 2 packages right here. The reason why this guy lost me a duel is because I thought Utopia the Lightning going up to 5,000 attack was going to be game, but I was actually off. My other plan, because I used 2 Dinomist cards to make Utopia the Lightning, my other plan was to make Bahamut Shark Toad, and if I would have made that, I would have won the match. But I lost that duel, and then my opponent went, and then I bricked really hard, and my opponent ended up winning. Instant Fusion targets were Norden and Panzer Dragon. I might take out Panzer Dragon for Dynaster. I really want to make room for Dynaster in this extra deck. But, like, I don't think any of these cards are really negotiable. simply because like this is the engine. This is Zodiac's. Diagnostic Animal's a part of that. Like Toad and Infinity are the reason you're running this deck, in my opinion. And then Utopia the Lightning is the out to Crystal Wing. So Panzer Dragon is really the only one that's negotiable because the last card in the extra deck is Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer. That is my Zodiac Dinomist deck. I really like it. I really enjoy it. If you want the fun of anti-meta like Dinomist, or not anti-meta, but if you want the fun of rogue like Dinomist with the consistency of the meta like Zodiac, I would highly, 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 highly recommend this deck. But that's it.
I got realness, I just kill shit cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA.